Hey, I'm Marii. This is Moments with Marii, a space for healing, soft living, and showing up whole. I'm glad that you're here. If you're anything like me, you struggle real bad with resting. It's like your body may be at rest, like when you're laying down or when you're asleep, but your mind is always on the go, always on the move. And when you have situations like that, you could have a full night of sleep and still wake up feeling so sluggish. You could feel so tired and so heavy. For me, when that happens to me, even getting out of bed to brush my teeth is a struggle. And I'm a firm believer that we have a guilt that's tied to resting, and that's why our mind is never at rest. We're always thinking about all the things that will crash and burn as a result of us resting. Doesn't that sound stupid when I say it? It sounds really silly. Like the fact that I just need to take a break, or that I need to go to sleep at night, or that I want to sleep an extra 30 minutes. In my brain, everything's going to crash and burn and nothing's going to go right. And that's why we feel guilty. So stupid. We're human beings. We're not donkeys. We're not machines. We're not robots. A lot of us grew up believing that our value is attached to how tired we are and how much we keep pushing through that, or how much we show up for people, or how strong we are to be there all the time and be on go on the time. This hustle culture mindset, how how much you stretch yourself so thin. Like our value has been tied to that for a lot of us since the time that we were little girls. This is my mantra. You're going to hear me say this a lot. I've said this in a couple of episodes, but you cannot show up at your best self when you're not feeling your best. And like ding dong, part of being at your best is resting and sleeping and feeling energized and charging yourself. So why the heck do we feel lazy? And why the heck do we feel guilty when we might want to take a quick nap between errands, or if we want to go to sleep a little bit early, or if you just want to sit and chill? Like why do we feel so bad? I grew up in an African household. So by nature being African, when you're resting, you're lazy. If you're not doing anything, you're lazy. Like you should always be doing something at all times. At every waking moment of the day. There should be no reason that the sun is up before you and the sun sets after you. Like no. You should always be on the move. You should always be moving. If not, you're lazy. That's really the mindset that a lot of us have grown up with. But the fact is that you're not. You've been on overdrive for so long. You've been burnt out for so long. You've been showing up for so long. You don't even know how to rest. Resting should be one of the easiest things to do. But when you do it, your body feels so out of whack because you have a lot of heaviness you're carrying. You're laying down and you're thinking about, okay, when so and so comes, I have to do this for them. And before they come, I have to do that for this person. Like your mind is always on the go. What is it that I had to do again? I forgot what I had to do. Okay, I have to make sure I do this first. Oh crap, I forgot I said I would do this today. That's how my brain works like 24 hours a day. Even when I'm sleeping, I dream about the things that I have to do. But like I said, this is a mindset that a lot of us have grown up with. And it's carried over into our adulthood, but unfortunately, it's a mindset that does not serve us because you cannot always run on E all the time. You need to energize yourself. So I'm going to get into just a couple of mindset shifts that I had to make that have been making resting easier. Just easier. I'm not there yet. I still wake up or lay down with a lot of guilt, but there's a couple of mindset shifts that I had to take that have helped me make this a little bit easier. Let's look at laziness. Being lazy. I don't have the textbook definition of it, but I would say that laziness is when you have the time, energy, and resources to do things that need to get done or you want to get done, and you make the choice to not do it because you just want to rot. You just want to lay down. You just don't want to use the energy that you have. That's how I see laziness. Now, when you are running and going and even if it's not running and going in that day, just in life, you've just been on the go for life. And you say, I'm going to just sit down for a bit. Did you choose to be tired? Did you choose to feel heavy? Did you choose to feel overwhelmed? These are not this is not a decision. You did not choose to feel tired. You did not choose to need rest. Your body is telling you that you need it. Your nervous system, quite frankly, is letting you know, hey, you need to take a beat. So if you didn't make that choice, why do you think you're lazy? Your body is telling you it's what you need. Your body is telling you, hey, I'm heavy, I'm tired, you've been overworking me. Your mind is telling you, I'm exhausted. Can we take a break? And it's up to you to honor what your body is telling you and listen to what your mind is trying to say. Take the break. You're not lazy. You need rest. That may look like you just taking a couple minutes. That might look like you taking the rest of the day. But whatever the heck it looks like, you need to recharge. That's part of being human. We weren't built to be on go on the time. So let's change that mindset of I'm lazy and look at it as I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, and I just need some time to recharge. However much time that might be is dependent on what you got going on. But whatever that time is, it's okay to take that time. Another mindset shift for me, and this is the big one for me, is that me resting is me not showing up when I need to be present for all the things and people that I need to be present for. And I have an episode where I talk about being like the sole caretaker and being the one that everybody leans on. You might want to go check that out if that sounds like who you are. But I want to give you where the mindset shift changed for me, right? It was back in December 2024. I was feeling so stressed. I was feeling overwhelmed. I had a baby and like my daughter's getting big. I have the house, I have the business, I have my husband, I have this, I have that, I have my mom, I have so many things. And I just felt drained. I was drained. I was so drained that you could see it on me physically. Like you could see it in my eyes that I was drained. My eyes, I had dark circles. I was just drained. And I decided I'm gonna take a mental health day. Like sometimes at work people take a mental health day. I just decided I'm gonna take a mental health day from life. And I don't remember what the website is called, but I went and booked a day room. I just booked a room for the daytime from about 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I just did whatever the hell I wanted. I laid down, I prayed, I journaled, I watched TV, and I was laughing out loud. And I worked out. Like I did a lot in that, like, how many hours did I did a lot in that 9 hour period. And then I had a good day. I had a relaxing day and I had a day that wasn't scheduled. For the most part, I had like things I wanted to do, but I kind of just went with what felt right just for that allotted amount of time. I drove back home and guess what happened? My house was still standing. My kids were healthy and fed. Everybody else who lived in the house or was in and out the house or was fine. My business was still running. Everything was fine. Now, booking that day room was hard as heck for me to do because all I could do was think about all my responsibilities and all the things that I needed to do. But my body was really telling me at that time that I needed to check out. I needed to just check out from everything. And the reason why I needed it is because you know how I talk a lot about being able to sit with yourself and feel what you feel and assess what you need. I was not even at that capacity at that time. I couldn't even tell you what I needed. That's how heavy and drained I was. And that's why checking out was so necessary that time. Now, for you, it may not be checking out for, X amount of hours. Sometimes it might be just sitting in your car for 30 minutes. Sometimes it might be taking a little bit of an extra long shower. It might be something that just removes you from your current reality just so you could be one with yourself. But when you reach a point of burnout and overwhelmed that you can't even connect with your emotions and your feelings, that's when you know you really need to remove yourself for either an extended period of time or just a time with a lot of depth where you're just at one with yourself. And like I said, I came back and everybody was fine. Everything was fine. The house was still standing. Everything was cool. At the end of the day, anything it is that you need to address, anything that it is that you need to do, when you need rest, go rest. When you come back, everything will be right where you left it. Or even better, things might even figure itself out when you step away. You don't have to be the one to do everything. Sometimes when you are somebody who, like me, where I struggle with rest or not being present, I tend to forget that there are people who are willing to help me. Yes, it may not be a whole village or it might not be a lot of people, but there are people who, number one, can stand for themselves when you're not there. Or there are people who will say, like, Muddy's not here, so let me just take care of this. That's something that's been very hard for me to do because in a lot of my life I didn't have that. But once you have those one or two people who can do it, you sometimes forget because you're always there. You always want to be present. You always want to be around. You always want to make sure everything is okay. But chill out. Those people will present themselves the more that you give them space to do so. Sometimes stepping away and resting gives people the space to show up for you the way that they want to, but they find it hard to because you have that energy. I know I have that. My husband and I talk about that all the time. That I have an energy and a demeanor that it makes it hard or uncomfortable for people who want to help me to help me. And I'm learning to step back, relax, and be okay with not being present for a little while, or being present for myself away from everything else. That's a lesson that's hard as hell to accept, and it's hard as hell to ingrain in you. But I will continue to say this probably at the end of almost every episode, where you have to take things in steps, in bits, and you have to do it with compassion and grace. You have to take small steps to make big impact. And you have to take these small steps with compassion and to be able to celebrate yourself in the journey every time the needle moves and every time things get a little bit easier. You have to acknowledge that. Slowing down, taking things a day at a time, an hour at a time, a minute at a time. And part of that might be you taking rest. It might just be you needing to recharge, get energized, go lay down, go for a drive, go get a drink, relax. At the end of the day, everything's going to still be standing, and everything that's meant to meet you is going to meet you again when you're ready to come back and serve. If you're somebody who feels like you're lazy or you feel guilty when it comes time to take rest, I want to remind you again, you're not lazy, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, and you're burnt out. Give your body what it's asking for and listen to what your brain is telling you. Take a beat. Everything's going to be cool. And if that's something that sounded really foreign and probably impossible to do, I really hope that this message will help you and make it easier for you over time. You can always come back to it whenever you need a little reminder. Thank you so much for spending a moment with me. If this message resonated with you, make sure that you share it with someone that you love. And make sure that you subscribe on all platforms so you can stay up to date with Moments with Marii. Until next time, be gentle with yourself.